Right then, it's been a little while, and I'm here to tell you why. I haven't uploaded anything in 6 weeks. 3 main reasons for that. First one being I wasn't happy with the quality. Just the look of things, the amount of work I was putting in to get stuff done. While I did a lot of work, there's no doubt about that. The work to quality output, it just wasn't equal. So I'm going to make sure that the videos I create are not only interesting to watch, but interesting to edit. Because I get so bored so quickly if I'm not learning something. And I used to think, and I did do this for quite a while with all my YouTube videos, that if I had a YouTube video that I first uploaded, the next one has to have something improved, whether that's visually based, audio based, or workflow based. And so then you do the same with the next one, and that worked for ages. Just continuous improvement, and it was brilliant. But then I got a little bit lazy. I came up with a workflow, which funny enough wasn't good for me. I don't work well when I've got a set method of doing things because I get very bored with repetition. I've always got to be able to adapt and improve and explore new methods of doing things. So that's reason 1 for not uploading anything. That's the reason in the back of my head, but these are the main focal points why I didn't afterwards. So 6 weeks ago, I developed an agonizing toothache. It happened one day actually while playing the violin. I was just playing it. I did everything. There was a slight pain while I was doing it. I was like, oh, okay, whatever, this is just annoying. And maybe 15 minutes later, after videoing it, I just lost my mind. It was crazy, genuinely. It was such agony that I could not pay attention to anything that I was doing. And so, turns out to see the dentist in my local area, and I wanted to see an NHS dentist, which I wasn't registered with. I had to go to a GP first, register there, register with the dentist after the GP, and then get an appointment. And thankfully, I actually managed to do that in the space of like 40 minutes. All of that, register GP, dentist, and then get seen. I mean, it was fluky and brilliant because of the amount of pain I was in, but there we go. Turns out, infected baby tooth around here. And up to that point, I'd been going through painkiller after painkiller. Like, it was getting pretty bad how much I was taking just to deal with it. I was taking painkillers just to eat, because I knew that if I had something hot or something cold, it was oddly all based on temperature, nothing to do with biting down. I knew that within half an hour I would be in agony. So I took painkillers all the time. A week later, it was pulled out, and every pain, pretty much every pain I've ever had in my mouth up to that point, like sensitive teeth, the aching, just the agony, vanished that day. That was the main thing. That stopped me doing videos for quite a while. But then that was probably the first 2 weeks of my 6-week stint of nothing. Then 4 weeks ago to the day, in fact, almost to a time, two hours ahead of now, 4 weeks ago, it snowed. It snowed in a place called Virginia Water in Surrey in the UK. And it only did it for about an hour and a half. And that hour and a half ruined me. It was frustrating. Driving back from a student's house, because I teach piano, and the road had a little bit of snow. To put it into context, this particular road was normally a national speed limit, a country lane. And driving to the student's house, I had happily driven at 50 miles per hour down it. No problem saying that, because I know I could have gone 60. That would have been pushing it a little bit. I still probably could have done it. But it was dry, absolutely dry. There was snow on the sides, on the embankment, on the grass, nothing on the road, dry as a bone. And just for context, earlier in the day, I had mocked someone in the morning for driving slowly in the snow. That came back to bite me, because at the student's house, it lightly snowed for about an hour and a half. And I thought, I didn't expect snow today. The forecast said nothing about it. But there we go, and as I was leaving the student's house, funny enough, they were discussing a crash, the parents of the students were discussing a crash that just happened outside their house that morning. And as I was going to leave, I said, oh, give me a moment, I need to grab my coat. I've left it by the piano. I can hear my dad in my head saying right now, if you crash and you don't have your coat, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. He always says that. So I actually repeated it out loud just before I left. Get in the car, get to this same road that I'd driven down 50 miles per hour from before, and it had a light dusting of white all over it, of course, for snow, but you could see the road, I'd say. So driving a fair bit slow, probably 40 around the straighter roads, the straighter bits that I knew and understood absolutely fine, and then slowed down to a very slight bend in the road. Probably down to 35, at least that's what I've been saying, because by this point I'm starting to lose my mind. I don't know if I can remember it at all. And as I went round that corner, the back end of my car, I had a fairly big car. It was a new car to me. 3.5 weeks, I'd only just had it. And as I went round this corner, the back end, if this is the back end of my car, if this is the front end, the back end decided it would carry on with the momentum that this corner would create. So front end, back end started to slide out. So I corrected. I went with the steering wheel, spun it round, so suddenly the back end was this way. I over-corrected again, and the back end came all the way around until I was, if this is the road, my car was now skidding at 90 degrees down the road. Thankfully, no one was around for me to hit or get into, and no one hit me, of course. But as I'm going along, I'm also drifting up this way, because of course that's where the car wants to go, even if I am going sideways. I hit the curb on the other side of the road, jump up and over a mud pile, I guess, just before a ditch, and then wedge myself in there. Airbags didn't go off, so I can't have been going that fast by the time I actually stopped, and I'm absolutely fine. I walked out of there without a bruise. My biggest issue was it was really cold outside, but it was all good. So that has ruined my life for the last 4 weeks, thinking about insurance, what's going on with that. I mean, the car's a write-off apparently, things are going on, but hopefully in the next week this will all be sorted. So the reason why I said all that is sort of as a warning, sort of as a helpful guide for people. So the first thing was about the quality, and basically if you're like me, don't get into a pattern. You need continuous development of something in order to stay interested, otherwise it gets very boring very quickly and you get demotivated. Second one, being the dentist. Don't put off going to the dentist. I did, and yeah, I thought I could handle it. Apparently I can't. It was a 9 out of 10 on the pain scale, continuously. Not good. 3, drive carefully in the snow, and don't mock people for driving slowly in the snow, because you'll find out that later in the afternoon, that snow will come back to get you and ruin your life for a month. But there we are. So, onto the videos. Basically, I am going to be getting back on the videos. I will be recording stuff from next week. I don't know if I'll be releasing stuff. We shall see. It depends on the quality, if I'm happy with it. I want my stuff to look far more cinematic, have this depth that's going on right now, which is quite nice. Because of course I could be using the camera that I usually use for my composing music stuff. And I will still use that for the composing stuff, because at the moment this camera takes up my whole desk. But I just want this extra level of quality, and I quite like it. And it makes it fun to edit, which is all good. Stops me from getting bored. So, I'm going to continue with the violin. I've lost a month and a half of practice time. First bit was due to the violin. Sorry, idiot. First bit was due to the teeth. Second bit was due to me being lazy. No excuse there. I lost the car. I didn't lose my ability to hold a bow. So I'm still going to aim for grade 8, it's just going to be a lot more difficult, and it'll be a lot more rewarding when I manage it, because I'm still determined to do it. And actually here's the really interesting thing that I think will be fun and just really enjoyable to both watch and participate in if you're that way inclined. I just bought this, a DJI Mavic Air, and it's incredible. Utterly brilliant. I've only had a few drones in the past, literally the sort of stuff that are about that size that you fly around your living room, and they were fun, a lot of fun. This one, of course, is a bit of a step up, and the footage it gets is crazy. I can be confident that it's never going to crash. It'll always come back to me if it's got an issue, and it's crazy. But the point is, I want to be travelling around the UK. I don't see any point going to other countries if I haven't even explored my own yet. And I shall be getting lots of footage. And what I want to do is create some cinematic landscape shots of different areas, stitch them together into a 40-second to 1-minute video of a particular location, whether it's a beach area, a cliff area, some hills, some mountains, just absolutely anything that I can get my hands on. And what I will then do in the composing music videos is, instead of just writing a completely random piece, I will take the video, plonk it up into Logic, import it in. If you don't know how to do that, I'll show you all this sort of stuff, and I will then create a piece of music based on that drone footage. So the footage I will edit, I won't have any music to it, so I've got to sort of create the best looking edit that I can before any music goes on. That final edit of the video will then be placed into Logic. I'll then compose music on top of it, which should be really interesting. I've only ever done it once before, and it worked really well for getting me inspired and for making the video just really pop out, because suddenly you've got these hit points where the music is just really emphasizing what's being seen on screen. But the really cool thing, I think, that can work from that is I will also upload that video without the music, that video that I created using the drone, and I will put it onto Google Drive. And when I upload the composing music video, I will give a link to the drive for you to be able to download that same video, the exact same video, same quality, all this sort of stuff, and you can do what you want with it. You could even actually cut it up, create your own new video edit, and then do some music to it if you want, or you just compose some music to it. And what would be really great is if you take that video, you upload it yourself, you send me a link, I'll include it in another video after that or something, I don't know, and we sort of discuss things. We go through what you've done and sort of see how it can be developed. I can't say that I'm going to be even amazing at this. No, that sounds really arrogant. I can't say that I will be any good at this. However, I like to think that I can at least give some advice, even if I can't do maybe the standard that you can do. And maybe like this sharing of knowledge will actually just snowball and create a really good sort of atmosphere for learning, because I want to continuously improve my work at any given point, whether that's in the editing process, the video making process, or the audio process, the music process. It needs to get better every single time I do it. So if I'm creating something to teach using the video, I will be learning. And that learning I can pass across, I can look up other things, give links to other people, find out what's going on, how to do things properly, and then, who knows? Who knows? Some serious projects, some serious collaborations could start to happen. And yes, it could be really interesting. So I'm not written off the face of the earth just yet. I'm still working on things. I'm going to do less videos but higher quality content all the time. Don't know about covers or anything like that. Music covers, really depends if I'm interested enough. It's difficult because I play my music differently every single time, so when I try and do multi-camera angles, it just doesn't work very well. But we shall see. Maybe something for the future. I do enjoy doing them, but then there's lots of pressure to try and make it look good, and I'm not quite there yet. So from next week or the week after, videos will be coming back. Violin stuff, composing music stuff, including drone footage stuff. While I've got you here, you might as well have a look at my Instagram, where I'm uploading all my photos, my footage from my drone already, and just having fun with the edits. Because I'm not interested in who sees it. I'm not interested in views, likes, or anything like that. I'm just interested in improving the way I work and what my final product ends up looking like. And hopefully some of you can help me with that. So, I shall see you in the next video, I guess.